So, let's talk about one of the biggest, most fundamental questions in all of science. What does it actually mean for something to be alive? It sounds pretty simple, right? But, as we're about to see, that line between what's living and what's not, well, it can get surprisingly blurry. All right, to get right to the heart of it, let's start with a classic biological puzzle. Is a virus a living thing? I mean, think about it. It can make us sick, it definitely multiplies, it has a huge impact on the world. But does any of that actually make it alive? Well, to figure that out, we've got to establish some ground rules first. So, before we can put our virus on trial, so to speak, we need to know what we're looking for. What does science say are the absolute must-have criteria for something to be considered life? First up, we've got this word organism. It's defined as any individual living thing that can carry out its life processes all on its own, independently. Now, that word, independently, is super important, so just kind of tuck that away in the back of your mind. But of course, this just brings up another question. What exactly are these life processes? Okay, here we go. Life processes are basically the essential functions that an organism has to perform to stay alive. You can think of it like a biological checklist. If something ticks all the right boxes, yep, it's alive. If it doesn't, well, that's where things start to get really interesting. So, what's on this checklist? Well, there are 7 key life processes, 7 vital signs. And just to make this a little more fun, we're going to uncover them together by solving a few word puzzles. You ready? Let's do this. Here's our first one. Take a look at the letters on your screen. Venom met. Go ahead and try to unscramble that. I'll give you a little clue. It's all about an organism's ability to change its position or place. Got it? If you guessed movement, you are absolutely right. All living things move in some way, even if that movement is just happening inside them. Okay, that's our first clue locked in. Just 6 more to go. All right, next up, prairie snot. Yeah, I know, it's a weird one. Here's your hint. This is the process that involves releasing energy from food. Go ahead, give it some thought. And the answer is respiration. And we're not just talking about breathing in and out here. We're talking about the chemical reactions inside cells that unlock the energy from our food. That's vital sign number 2. Let's keep this train rolling. Your next word scramble is sty invites eye. The clue for this one, it's all about being able to detect and react to changes in your surroundings. What do you think that is? You got it. It's sensitivity. You know, like a plant leaning towards a sunny window or you yanking your hand away from a hot stove. That's number 3 on our list. Okay, here's a quick one for you. Throw G. This process is all about an organism getting bigger and more complex as time goes on. Of course, it's growth, a permanent increase in size. All living things do it. That's clue number 4 in the bag. We're more than halfway there now. So what about this one? Unripe doctor. A big hint for this one is that it's the process of making more of your own kind, which is pretty essential if you want your species to stick around. And that one unscrambles to reproduction, the ability to create the next generation. That's our 5th vital sign locked and loaded. Only 2 to go. Your next puzzle is no exciter. And your clue is that this is all about getting rid of waste products that build up from all those chemical reactions happening inside an organism. That's right, it's excretion. It's how living things get rid of toxic stuff and waste. And with that, our 6th clue is on the board. And here we are, the final puzzle. Try to unmuddle the letters in unit intro. This is the process of taking in materials for energy, for growth, and for development. This is the last piece of our puzzle. And that gives us our 7th and final life process, nutrition. It doesn't matter if you're a plant making your own food or an animal eating something else, all life needs fuel to keep going. So there they are, all 7 of our vital signs. And there's this awesome little acronym to help you remember them all. MRSGRN. That's movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. This is it. This is our complete checklist for life. But, and this is a really key point, these processes don't always look the same in every organism. I mean, take movement. For an animal like a tiger, it's pretty obvious, right? It runs, it pounces. But what about a plant? Its movement is just way slower, much more subtle, like growing toward the sunlight or its roots pushing through the dirt. It's the same vital sign, it's just happening in a totally different way. Okay, so now that we have our MRSGN checklists complete, it's time. Let's go back to our original suspect, let's put the virus on trial and see how it holds up against our 7 criteria for what it means to be alive. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the mystery. Let's run our virus through that MRS-Grun checklist. Can it reproduce? Well, yes, but, and this is a huge but, only when it's inside a living host cell. It completely fails that independently tests we talked about right at the beginning. Does it show sensitivity? Yeah, it actually does. It can sense its environment to find and infect a cell. But what about the others? Nutrition, respiration, excretion? Nope, not a single one. Viruses don't have any of their own machinery for that stuff. They don't eat, they don't breathe, they don't produce waste. They're really more like these tiny biological robots that only switch on once they're inside something that's truly alive. So this brings us all the way back to our big question. The very existence of viruses totally messes with our neat and tidy biological checklist. It really suggests that life might not be a simple yes or no question. Maybe it's more like a spectrum. You've got complex chemistry on one end, and you've got us and other undisputed organisms on the other, and viruses are just hanging out somewhere in that really fuzzy area in between. It forces us to ask if our definitions are even good enough. So I'm going to leave you with that to chew on. Where do you draw the line between life and non-life?